loves. So today I want to have a little talk to you about Jeffree Star. This should be fun. So I've been kind of in two minds whether to make this video or not. The main reasons for not is because one, I don't really ever want to do anything which is going to attract kind of like negative attention, and also obviously I'm a bit concerned that this video will be reaching an audience outside of those that I usually talk to, and yeah, that kind of isn't something that I'm really entirely comfortable with yet. But I do have quite a strong niggling opinion on the kind of drama that's been going on, though I don't like to call it drama because as much as drama, I guess if you want to call it that, has come out of it, the actual problem, that being Jeffree's behaviour, is something which should be spoken about. And considering that I've been a pretty big fan of his liquid lipsticks, I have like a bunch of them, and because I do actually have quite a few, I was intending on making a swatch fest review video, but even before all of this drama came about, which I'll explain a little bit more in a second, I was kind of feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the brand because obviously Jeffree Star is the brand, so anything that he does is a reflection upon his brand. Because me, like many others, didn't know about Jeffree Star in his MySpace days or anything. I was brand new to social media just 2 years ago, so me, like many other people, didn't know who Jeffree Star was until he made it his business to make sure everyone knew who he was because he was starting to sell makeup. And so without knowing anything that he'd previously done, you really just had the fact that the brand was vegan and cruelty-free, and Jeffree was very out there and about self-expression, which is obviously going to go down well with anyone who likes makeup, but also the fact that it was more of an indie brand. It wasn't a kind of big corporate company, and generally people would probably prefer to give their money towards a more of an independent startup company, especially when they're providing something which is a bit different too. But then I started watching some of his videos, and at first it was like, oh haha, isn't that funny, that old Jeffree. And also, in fairness, the first ever video I saw him in, it was with Nikki Tutorials, and he actually seemed quite endearing because you could see he was very insecure without his makeup on. And then when you pair that with the fact that he also tries to deflect from all of that by being funny, you know, these are positive attributes that are obviously going to be good for a brand. But then after a while I started seeing things in his videos that I didn't really like or feel comfortable with. The first thing, I guess, was that he made a video kind of glamorizing cosmetic surgery, and as much as I don't have anything against somebody who decides to do that, I don't think it's a responsible thing to casually glamorize it the way that he did. And then also the fact that he was openly just smoking weed in his makeup videos, which he could have easily edited out, which again, I really don't have anything against anybody who wants to do something like that. Really, I don't. But again, I do think it's very irresponsible for him to casually advertise it the way that he does, when he should really be being aware of the implications of what he is doing. And again, like I said, he can edit that out. It's pretty easy to do, but instead he shows it off like a child would with a new toy. And that brings me to the other thing which I really didn't feel comfortable about, which was his get ready with me in my Ferrari or Lamborghini or some expensive car for expensive car's sake video, which when I first saw appear in my subscription box, I kind of just rolled my eyes and kept scrolling. But then not long ago, Nikki Tutorials did a video with him, and I thought, she's seemingly lovely and humble enough, that can't be the worst thing to watch, surely. And I couldn't quite believe what I saw. It was presented as if it was an episode of MTV Cribs, but it's now it was obviously all a production team that he had paid for, and there were shots of his car being followed from behind, so that means another car with another driver and another cameraman with equipment allowing them to do that, and this is for a makeup video on YouTube. And he also just happens to stop by and get a designer bag on his travels, all on camera. It's conspicuous consumption at its best. So yeah, up until all of this other stuff has come out, that was my opinion given just what I had seen. And then there's a thing where he openly bashes Kylie Jenner's lip products and has such a tantrum about it publicly. He even throws them in the bin. But then when a fan of his made a video doing a very similar thing, which he actually did do in quite a nice way, bless him, he was still speaking very highly of Jeffree Star and his products. Jeffree publicly attacked him without taking any other information in other than hearsay, calling what he had done pathetic and saying that he was going to contact YouTube about defamation when he was just saying his opinion. He said nothing bad about him, and even if he did, it wouldn't be worse than what Jeffree has said to anybody else from what I can see so far. And then there's another recent instance where there was some sort of like back and forth between him and another makeup person, and the reason I'm not going into detail about anything is because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what anybody says to him, whatever happens to him, it's how he deals with it that's important. And he has dealt with things terribly. He has dealt with things like a bit of an immature teenager who has a very bad mouth on him and needs to think a lot more about what it is that he's saying and doing, because that would probably be beneficial. And so yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go into huge detail about any of these instances, but I will post links to the videos that I've seen below. And so yeah, further to all of this, the way that he's addressed it has been that of being defensive and using his unfortunate past as a way of justifying his behaviours now as a fully grown adult. That there's only a certain age you can get to where that washes, in regards to giving a person like an allowance of understanding at least. But when you're a fully grown adult who owns and is the face of a company, you've got to start acting professionally. Even if you're not going to be like that in your personal life, you still have a responsibility to be professional, and at least in general, like, act like a nice person. Like, for instance, he eventually apologised to Rocky Roadkill, who was the one who made that video, but in this apology he blames the person he's apologising to, other outside factors, and in general just skirts around the responsibility which he should be taking. But he didn't do that, and seemingly he's still not doing that now. In videos that I've seen of his Snapchat stories where he's addressing all of this, he's effectively emotionally manipulating his followers by using things like sexual abuse and an unfortunate start to life as a way of excusing his behaviour, when, like I say, it doesn't matter what is done to you, it's how you deal with it that is important. And that concept to him right now is seemingly beyond his grasp. He instead is saying that he's not going to change because to change would be to be disloyal to his roots, and so within that he's basically saying he doesn't agree with self-improvement or learning from his mistakes. And when you make the kind of mistakes that he has seemingly made through all of the years that he's been on social media, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but doesn't really behave like a good one. So yeah, as a result, I don't really want to make a video talking about his lipsticks, nor do I want to buy any more of his products. And believe me, I was buying them, but all things considered, I don't really think that it's something that I'm going to be doing anymore. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all the different instances that there are if you haven't heard about it already, but I will leave links to all the different things that I've seen so you can see for yourself and make your own mind up. But yeah, I did want to talk about this with those of you who I do interact with regularly, because I have openly been happy about sharing his products up until recently. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but his lipsticks aren't unique and there are many other brands which do just as good, if not better of a job. So yeah, I guess that's that. But other than that, I hope you're doing well and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!